I was playing some dubstep. Sorry guys on YouTube. I thought it would be hilarious to insert dubstep this week. So guys, what's up? My voice is recovering, not 100%, a little nasally. I didn't.
Sickness.
I don't feel like too sick, but I am like a little under the weather. But it's mostly just from like coughing, or not coughing too much. From
coughing
from talking talking too much. So my voice is a little raspy, and like I said, I'm a little nasally. But I don't feel as bad as I have in the past. So maybe I just need to say that I'll get sick every single week, and then I won't get sick. Maybe something like that. I don't know.
That works.
Yeah. So yeah, welcome guys. This is episode number 63 of Frag Logic, joined by my good buddy, co-host Colin, aka Skyllus, aka Sky Captain, aka Skyllus, aka Crazy Skills, aka
Baron of the Hop.
Baron of the B Hop.
The B Hop Baron.
The B Hop Bandit Brigade. So yeah, we're streaming live on Twitch and on YouTube. I actually have some stuff from the show that I'll be showing during the stream, so I would advise watching both streams. As of right now, Time Warner has not fucked me today, so if that continues to be the case, then you guys will get to see some of PAX. But if they decide to bend me over at any time during the stream, I would advise heading over to Twitch. Obviously, the Twitch stream is much better than YouTube, so I highly encourage you to check out both and talk in both. So, weekend gaming. Obviously, my weekend consisted of PAX, so there was lots of games, and Colin, and you guys out there, I only got to play fucking 3 games, one of which was Loadout, so that doesn't even count. I got to play 2 games, but I went to 4 panels. So I offset, and this is going to go hand in hand when I talk about the PAX experience, but it's going to go hand in hand with you know, how busy it was there and stuff like that, why I was limited. But I felt like panels would be a little bit more entertaining, I guess, and then waiting in a 4-hour line to play games. So I visited panels this year. Now I want to say, Colin, this might be my first time at PAX going to a PAX panel. I don't remember going to any before, but I have been to I've been to like 3 panels before, but this is my first time at PAX that I've been to one of theirs.
So you only been to one other PAX, right?
No, I've been I've been to PAX East twice. I've been to PAX Prime twice, so I've been to 4 PAX events in total. So, yeah, they start adding up quick. Now we're gonna have, you know what crazy event came out of that? PAX South.
Yep, in San Antonio.
San Antonio,
right next door.
So yeah, that's gonna be
a bit much, realistically.
January, March, August.
Like 4 or 5 gigantic U.S. events over the course of the year. Like, developers need time to make games, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, people are going to have to pick and choose, but obviously, I think they keep doing this for the fans. And you know what? Let me just hold off on that. So, let me get to the weekend games that I got to play. I got to play Strike Vector. Remember, I talked about them last week. Indie game. Here's a couple things I found out from them. That's a French development team. They were right next to our booth. So, the cool-ass dudes, 2 of them came. There's only 5 developers in total for that game. 5. And 2 of them were there at PAX East. And I know we probably talked on and off for, you know, the entire time. Obviously, we get an hour. We get about an hour before the show opens, so devs are in there. It's very obvious who's new and who's not new at the events. But they were obviously new. They had to get us to help them out with a couple things. They didn't bring tape, you know, at the end of the show to tape up their boxes. But they were cool ass dudes, really cool. We played, I want to say 3 games of Strike Vector, which is like a third person, really high octane, super fast, like arcadey shooter, space shooter.
Yeah,
So
it's like a ship version of Unreal.
yeah, that's what it's been equated to in journalism, press, whatever. The interesting thing about it is just how fast it is. Like, I mean, it's really fast, and so I think they're obviously going to have a tough time dealing with like people trying to learn how to play the game because it seems like it has a very high skill ceiling. As a matter of fact, I think in the 2 sessions that we played, I won one and I lost the other one because whoever was ahead of me, like he just got up. He had died once, so his score was
He just
negative.
got up. He's like,
He's
this
like,
isn't
oh,
happening.
oh, fuck this. He died once. His score was -1. And so I got 1 kill and ended at 0 by the time it finished. And the person in first got 1 kill. And then the next round, I got 2 kills, killed myself. Well, I got 3 kills, killed myself once. No, wait. I got 4 kills, killed myself twice, and ended with 2. So I finished with 2, 0, and 4. There's 4 deaths. And then I think the next person under me got like 1 kill or something like that. So it was very difficult. But you know,
Is
they
that
were
Unreal again?
enthusiastic. What's that?
Is that Unreal?
I It looks like it.
I've got this video up now. It
It
just looks
it
really
it does. It does look like it. The levels diversity. Here's the you know what Hawken kind of looked like that very first time people were talking about it and showed it. Like there's a couple levels that look very Hawken-ish. Um, Even their UI for the pilot ship, like they have like his hangar before you enter your match. It reminds me exactly, like to the T, of Hawkins'
awesome stuff.
stuff. Yeah, I mean it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, fuzzy
Um,
dice on the mirrors though. That's the important thing.
yeah, so I got to play that, and then the other big game I got to play was Evolved, which you know I got a full breakdown on, got some pictures, and someone asked on YouTube, do I have gameplay footage? I tried to get some, and you guys will see it. I pan the camera over, and then I hear someone like, I mean, as soon as I went right towards the screens, this guy came sprinting over to me like, no cameras, no photos of gameplay, nothing, no. I was like, okay, sorry.
Hey, oh, don't worry, it's off.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's all. I'm sorry. I was trying to. Yeah. Whatever. I had to get a signal. Just
Just
making
looking
a
at the
phone call.
glare. Yeah.
So yeah, Denny. It's basically I have to give a full um, recap mentally. I mean, I'll have some pictures in there, like I said, but it'll be mostly a mental recap of what's going on and how the game plays. So, Evolved, a lot of hype. A lot of hype around the game. It is, to me, it's the equivalent of how it had the same buzz I felt like from the show floor that Titanfall had last year. That's what I felt like kind of going in there. It is what people were talking about. If they stopped by your booth and they said, "Hey," like, and I would ask people, like, you know, some people that were walking around, "Hey, what's the game to play?" "Oh shit, dude, you gotta go check out Evolved. It's fucking awesome. The line is 4 hours long, but you gotta go check it out." I'm like, okay.
It was the only like mega game at the show, right? Like there
What
was
do
some
you
big
consider?
there were some big announcements and stuff. Like the Civ game was a big announcement, but it wasn't playable on the show floor.
Uh,
There wasn't like a lot of next gen
so
presence.
ah, so I didn't feel like this show had a very strong list of games. You know, Heroes of the Storm had a lot of people over there. It's Blizzard's MOBA.
Which you can play at home if you're an alpha.
Which you could play at home. The other one that was surprisingly big, I don't know if it's a surprise or not, was Wolfenstein. There was a tremendous line for that, and a lot of people were like, "Hey, you gotta go check it out." The unfortunate thing there is, you guys remember I talked about this during the summer when I got to play at QuakeCon. That game is it's fucking hard. Like, I got my
That's
ass
right,
whooped.
yeah.
I got my ass whooped when I played.
You
So
said you couldn't hang.
yeah, I
The
felt
normal difficulty.
I felt pretty out of my realm like when I played that. It looks phenomenal, and like I said, the line was deceptively long because it ended up like it veered off and went behind the escalators right at the front of the entrance. So as the escalators come down, like you look at the line and you're like, oh, it's short. And then you ask someone where the line is, and they point, and then it goes way back behind these escalators, and then veers off behind the escalators.
Damn.
So that was probably like another 2 hour wait. And I mean, I just didn't have that type of time this time around. So just no way I was gonna get to play anything else. I got some beta codes though to a couple things. Like I said, talked to some panels. Uh, and maybe I'll cover this some more, and when we get to in the depth. I went to the Titanfall panel. I went to Riot's panel for building a community. I'm just talking about their players and their craziness that is everything about League of Legends.
Right.
I went to one other panel. Can't remember what it was, and then it was Polaris in the Creatures Hub. I went to their panel. They unveiled Trapville. It's the YouTube guys. And something else. Also had a number of guys stop by the booth. I'm gonna give those guys all shouts out if I can remember them all. But one of the guys that stopped by was Markin, 3308. I'm not sure if he's in here today in the chat, but Markin stopped by. Razor Edge stopped by. Cream, Fatal Strike, Ribs from Gears. These are all Gears guys at this point.
Right.
EC Warrior 22, and I gotta go grab it, but he got me a Chick-fil-A $10 gift card. So that was fucking awesome. I did not see Dre. I did not see State of Decay there. I don't know where they were showing it, so I'm not sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'll talk about it some more when we get to PAX specific discussion. But yeah, go ahead, Colin. What's your weekend ended up like?
Right after you left for PAX, the Titanfall private matches went up, which you were pretty salty about.
I was extremely salty about.
So we started to get in some Titanfall matches. We played a few GBs, and then we played the LTS, Last Titan Standing 3v3 tournament over the weekend. We got top 8 in that, and we lost to the team that ended up winning. So it went pretty well. It's been nice just playing the game with full servers.
Right.
Actual good players.
Good players.
It's been pretty interesting. That was pretty much my whole weekend, was just Titanfall privates. Ramp up on that.
So how do you want to do the team on game battles? Are we just, here's our situation, guys. Everybody has a crazy schedule now. It's not like it was 3 years ago, hell 4 years ago, when we were able to play matches nonstop. So I think we have Johnson on the roster still.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you kind of wanting to add other people, or you want to keep it pretty locked? Just kind of get matches. What do you want to do with that? Colin, by the way, guys, Colin is pretty much running the Titanfall team. So he's going to be organizing matches, scrims, pretty much head honcho behind it right now. So if any of you guys, viewers out there, again, this is early in the show, so some of you guys on YouTube will still be watching when we show the rebroadcast. Interested in Titanfall scrims, you guys can message me what Skyllus is handling. He's the top dog for Titanfall. So
yeah, as far as we'll probably just play it by ear and see what our schedules end up working like. Like you said, everyone on the team has jobs in life and stuff, so all old men with priorities.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But overall, it was fun competing. This first tournament I played in what, like several years, realistically.
Yeah. And this first scrim I've been in 3 years.
When we scrimmed last night, yeah.
Last night. I felt fucking good, man.
So, yeah, that was Titanfall. Last Titan Standing played pretty well.
Well, yeah, that's because it's fucking Gears of War, right?
Yeah, basically. And it's 3v3, which was a nice player count for it. Last Titan Standing played horrendously in the GV matches we had. Predictably, since we talked about it before, there's no reason to move.
No reason to move.
If the other team has 5 Titans, just camp inside for a couple minutes and you'll have 5 Titans. Like, pretty silly.
Are you talking about Pilot Hunter? Pilot Hunter.
Or Pilot Hunter. Yeah.
You said Last Titan Standing.
Last
Pilot
Titan
Hunter.
Standing also kind of suffers from that issue in some cases. But it was fun.
Yep. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into Evolved. And if you guys are on Twitch,
Evolve. You keep adding a D.
I keep adding the D. I know. I don't add the D anywhere else, like written wise.
Yeah.
I keep doing it correct, but I want to keep saying Evolve because you don't. I mean, you basically a hero actively evolving. So once you've already evolved, that's what I end up saying in my head.
Other than
So
waiting for your Pokemon to evolve, you wouldn't usually say the
right.
singular.
Evolve gameplay breakdown. Again, I cannot stress enough, if there was a game that was that has a lot of hype as of right now, it is most certainly Evolve. Um, it, I mean, like I said, anyone that I asked, that is the game I was pretty much told to go try out. You know, when people came over, some of the buddies I had that you know that I mentioned earlier, kind of shouted out to, they said, "Listen, you got to go play Evolved, Evolve." So, you know, the line for it was minimum 4 hours long. They had to tape it off at some point, and that equated to 4 hours. That's where people were getting it from. They Here's the thing: I didn't expect the line to be like this, but once you actually got to a certain point, they let you choose what line you wanted to sit in. So for your class, so you could play the monster or the four other characters for the humans. You could play the support, medic, assault, or the what am I missing? Trapper.
Right.
Um, so that was pretty interesting.
Which meant a lot of the people that were there with the group would go over to the one line, and the other people would usually go to the other.
Right. So I ended up playing with the three guys that I worked the booth with. So that's the director of marketing. His name is Greg Bowman. Our creative director, Mark Now. Nate Terhune, who was QA for us. And then they had one random. I played as the monster when I played, which this demo has the Goliath. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. Is that all right? Goliath? Yes. And in the demo, basically, before you sit down, so they had one player on the one side, and then the four other players on another side, and then they had someone that's kind of walking you through how to play, sitting right next to you, and for that one side, and then on the other side, when you're playing the humans, they have one guy kind of walking you through how to play. So the menu screen, or I should say the option screen, when it pops up, shows your abilities, right? So before the match starts, you get to choose between leveling your rock throw, your leap, I want to call it leap attack or leap smash, your charge attack, and what's the last one? Your flame breath. And the character looks very, very similar to Godzilla. Like everything about him is like Godzilla, just not as tall. So, you know, for me, all those
Pretty
attacks.
defining feature of Godzilla.
Yeah, so once you got the flame breath, it's like that's Godzilla right there. So, you know, basically, I will say that this character as a monster is more mobile than probably Godzilla, because he doesn't really jump around too much. I mean, he does have a jump, but he's not sitting there jumping from building to building like he's Spider-Man. Um, there's a couple interesting things about the monster as you're playing him. When you spawn in, you basically start about 30 seconds or so. It might have been 20. I think he said 20 seconds. 20 seconds before the humans spawn in, and obviously, and they actually spawn in the same spot that you spawn. So the maps are absolutely, Colin, massive.
Really?
Everybody out there, the maps
Big
are
overall kind of thing.
massive. Yes, massive. And what's funny is like the mobile arena. When you see it and think about it, you're like, oh yeah, it's just gonna be small. It like covers this ginormous, gigantic area. Um, so even if you're trapped inside of it, you're like, you can still move around. You can still hop up on stuff. I thought it would be really restricting when they actually do it, but it's actually not at all like that. I guess what's different from the Game Informer article that they kind of showed initially, I'm going to say it's back in January, is that they divvied up the skills, and now you can level up the skills. So when you start level one, and before I dropped in, I was able to level up. I had 3 points to level up the four different attributes, and once you level one up, then it activates it. So I did leap smash or leap attack, the charge attack, and oh, I actually did. Hold on, I have it actually written down here. I did 2 on the leap smash and 1 on charge attack as my opening level 1. And I'm going to tell you guys, when I went into it from the demo, so as you're leveling it up, the rock smash, they showed it. It looks like you stand stationary and you aim at them and then you throw it. So it shows like this line of where it's the trajectory line of where it's going to go. But they look like the monster stands still. And that was just based off of the highlight demo that they showed for each move. And so I kind of looked at it and I was like, if I have 4 dudes running around in all in different spots and I'm sitting here trying to target one and throw a rock at him, that seems pretty fucking stupid. But at the same time, that rock was supposed to do like massive damage if it hits him. So I was like, I'm not going to use that at all because I just want to be mobile, probably leap around, make sure make it difficult for them to hit me, and kind of just slash attack them whenever I can. And that was my idea for playstyle going in. I think Cliffy, when he played, he had a big, huge, like people were commentating it. This huge crowd was around. I think he had a rock smash and actually threw it at someone and killed them. So, I mean, to each his own. I just didn't feel like that was my particular playstyle for it.
It's not as skilled at aiming your rocks as Cliffy B.
Yeah, right. I mean, Cliff has it down. To me, I just felt like it was a waste. The next level, and in order to evolve, you have to kill these animals, indigenous wildlife, pretty much. That's there. So you kill them, then you eat them, which takes a little bit of time, and then you have this meter that's like a evolve meter that kind of ticks up each time you kill something. I didn't end up running into anyone. They couldn't find me until I was like halfway into level 2, and when I got spotted, I immediately ran away. So like you can do this leap just by hitting A, and the leap is based on where you're looking. And this is what the guy explained to me. He says, so like if you look kind of outward, like kind of up a little bit, maybe like I want to say 90 degrees, but like 75 degrees, 60 degrees outward, you will jump really far. Now if you look 90 degrees and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go really far if I aim up, it's actually just makes you go really high. So obviously if you look down at the ground and you jump, you're not going anywhere. So once he explained that to me, like I was literally Spider-Man. Boom, boom, boom. And it shows you have a stamina meter on the inside of your reticle. It's like these orange lines. And there's 3 of them. So you get 3 jumps, and then it's on cooldown. So obviously you have some things to think about in terms of managing your stamina. And he also said, and I asked him, I was like, so did the abilities also cause you to use the stamina? He's like, no, don't worry about that. It's only with the jump. So I thought that was pretty cool. So it's only, again, jump management that you have to kind of think about. Someone said, does it have 64 players, Father Russia? No. And once I got spotted at level 2, and I should also mention at level 2, I actually ran into a huge monster. It actually shows up red. So the ones that are very, very hostile there, indigenous wildlife, they show up as, they have this red outline on them. And so I ran into one immediately when I like hit level 2, killed it. It took a little bit of health on me, but it makes your evolve meter go a lot faster. So if you can find them early, you might be able to level up quickly. But like I said, I got spotted at level 2, ran into this corner, hid behind some stuff, kind of stealth walked around. They have a sniff ability that highlights everything that you can kind of see outside of the... I want to say it's almost like, imagine activating the active radar pulse and you can kind of wall hack. Kind of does the same thing for wildlife and players when you do a sniff. But according to the guy that was next to me, once you do that sniff or whatever, for some reason it gives an audible pulse to enemy player. So like if you're sitting there sniffing, I guess they can hear you sniffing. I was like, that doesn't really make sense, but okay, I'll be conscious of that. So once I hit level 3, this is about 5 minutes into the gameplay, and most of these are averaging like 10 minutes. They have 4 stations. Yeah. At about 5 minutes in, I hit level 3, and that's the max level you can do. And this is how I max everything out. At level 2, I went 1 in leaf smash, so that was maxed. Then I put 1 in charge attack, so that was at 2, and I put 1 in the flame breath. At level 3, I went 1 in charge attack, so then that was maxed, and then 2 in flame breath, and I had nothing in rock smash. So those are my 3 that were capped off. That's the leap attack, the charge attack, and then the flame breath. So at level 3, you become this big, huge badass. You're capped, and then I took the fight to them. So there's a medic, and I have all these classes. We talked about it before. I'll kind of reiterate it. Yeah, there's a medic, a trapper, support, and assault. Now the trapper's name is Griffin. Support is Hank. I think we were talking about the names. Medic is Val, and the assault is Markov. I actually targeted the medic first, so the medic can heal their allies. They can revive their allies. I think it revives them faster. It can also slow down enemies, but it seems like they couldn't deal any damage based on the weapon set that they have. They do have something called an anti-material gun, which highlights weak points for your allies. So the best way I can think of it is when I saw someone playing, they had the trapper. There's this harpoon gun, which if you stick them, it slows down the monster, and it actually keeps them like on a leash. So not only are you limited to where you're going, but you can't go further than where the trapper is at. So if you have I think it's 5 points you can attach these harpoons to, you're not moving anywhere. So the medic was the first one I targeted, took them out. Then I went for the support. Support has a shield gun, which temporarily grants teammates invulnerability, laser cutter, orbital barrage, and I guess everyone has this cloak, which I think I didn't really see that. I didn't see anyone cloaking, so I think they were kind of didn't know what they were doing. So that was my next one. Then I took out the assault, which is the heavy damager there. Close range weapon with the lightning gun, has an assault rifle, arc mines, which I saw none of that. And I think everyone has a shield, and I think the assault actually activated the shield when I was fighting him. And then the last person to go down was a trapper. Now here's the funny story about the trapper. We're fighting, I take out two, and then the trapper starts to run. The assault comes in for me, and I don't know what they were saying on the other side, but I imagine it's like, hey dude, don't run away, help, help, help. So I'm in the assault guy's face, smashing him, doing all this stuff, leap smash, flame breath. He goes down to almost no health, and then I see the trapper like come from like wherever he was, this jetpack come flying in. So I'm like, yes, because there's a little timer that is on the bottom of your screen that is active once the first person dies, and I think it's like 2 minutes. Sounds about right. 2 minutes before the next one comes in. So I killed the medic first. I had 2 minutes to kill the rest of them. So I see the trapper comes back in. I'm like, yes, this is going to be easy. Take out the assault. And the trapper seemed like he was probably the best one in the group. He's flying around trying to shoot at me. And I'm like, what? I can't smack up there. What am I going to? I don't know how to hit him. So I tried like jumping up on several things and like meleeing him. That didn't really work. And he was already hurt from the big fight that we already had. So what I ended up doing was he landed on something. I think it might have been the charge attack, because I think that knocks him around. So he landed on something. I did the charge attack. It knocks him into this like lake. It was like a lake that had some like alligator thing in it. And so it was one of the red enemies that showed up. So it was a super strong enemy AI controlled monster. And so I'm sitting there, and he's sitting there. The trapper's swimming in this thing in this lake, and I asked the guy next to me, I'm like, "Is the alligator gonna eat him?" And so he's cracking, like the dude is cracking up laughing. He's like, "Oh yes," because I heard him like, "Oh yes, come on, come on, come on." So the alligator bites him, takes down his health even further. He jumps out and like starts to jetpack away. So I'm like, wait, I have flame breath. Maybe that can hit him. So I use my flame breath, fire it up at him as he's like jetpacking away, and burn him to a crisp. And he falls down, and I win. And I'm like, yeah, 7 minutes. So the dude was like, damn, dude, you're pretty good. But I think the highlight of it all was doing that attack, knocking him into the alligator thing, and seeing the guy next to me go, "Oh my God, is it gonna happen? Is it? Oh yes, yes. Oh yeah, he got him." I was like, "Whoa, dude, you're getting yeah." So that was probably the most awesome part of it. I do have this video I want to show you guys from this, so you guys can kind of see it all from the line. So let me go to monitor capture here. Got the chat up.
I'll try and pull it off YouTube.
All right. It is, which one is it? No, it's not that one. Did I delete it? No, I didn't delete it, did I?
You didn't delete it.
Push ourselves.
No, that's a PAX panel. That's a super crowd. Oh, here it is. Okay, I found it. All right, so we're gonna go to monitor capture over here. I got Colin's face all covered up right now. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull from YouTube to be able to get it for Twitch.
All right, so this is the line, and then I think you guys are gonna hear me talk a little bit and say something like, "Oh, okay, okay," because this is the guy that's telling me don't get any video. All right, so you guys ready? And then we got the monitor capture up.
Hey, I heard you guys like Frag Logic, so I put some Frag Logic in your Frag Logic. Maybe. This is the inferior.
Yeah, I own a website called I just don't realize I just don't realize they got the food. I just read that this.
So these lines are moving. It's amazing.
Oh, I was. Oh, that. Okay. So yeah, right at the end, you hear, "Oh, I was just. Oh, that. Yeah. Don't worry about it. That's all I was doing." So that was the line. That was some PAX stuff. I got some pictures here as well, which I'll show here when I start talking about PAX. But like I said, Evolve was awesome. Definitely, probably the hypest game at the show. If you talk to everyone there, and I really enjoyed it. I do want to obviously play some other stuff. Obviously, I felt like you really need a coordinated team in that environment if you're going to have a chance against the monster. And I feel like if you get someone that's pretty good, they're probably going to whoop your ass. So, you know, they kind of talked about, I want to say it was an article on maybe Polygon or GameSpot that I read while I was there, because it was getting massive coverage during the show, that says something like they were expecting the monster to dominate everyone there. And they said as of the show was about 60-40 monster, 60%, and the hunters at 40%. So I actually, you know, bumped the monster up a little bit, and that was my dominating performance. But I think on average, from what I saw, most of them lasted like 8, 9, 10 minutes, and I came right in at 7, and the guy was like, "That was pretty good, dude." So there's some Evolved gameplay breakdown. Got that done pretty quickly. Now, I will do we should probably do a short little question thing here. See if I can answer these. These will be on Twitch, guys. Sorry, YouTube. The chat is just way too slow for me to.
All right. Well, let's go and let me see if I can pull that video back up. Since I tried to show it, but it didn't happen.
Was it mine? My video?
Yeah. Oh, was it only like 10 seconds long?
My video is only like 10 seconds.
Okay.
I can try to play it again.
You guys saw almost all of it then.
I can play it again. It's not that long.
No, they saw almost all of
Okay.
Any question about Evolve Twitch chat?
Any questions?
Did you see any like groups of players killing the monster?
I saw one group right before we went, actually at the same stations we sat at. They had some guys that were communicating, and you could see the battle from where we were at. I think it wasn't on that video I showed, but the group that sat down, there was 2 guys left. I want to say it was the trapper and maybe the assault guy, and the medic had just spawned in. But you heard the assault or the trapper guy's like, "I got him! I got him! I got him! I got him!" And then he was referring to it being harpooned, so he couldn't go anywhere. And they took him out, and then they all got up like, "Yeah!" and they were cheering and stuff. So that was the one group that I saw that actually visibly won, because they were facing us. You guys saw it in the video. That was the side that was facing us that I got a little bit of video of before the guy said, "Oh, wait, no, nothing. I don't want cameras, nothing." So yeah, on that side, I saw one group win. Was the monster movement smooth? Yeah, so the monster movement was pretty fluid. Once I figured out the trajectory of where, you know, you could leap, he could leap really far. Climbing, There was an issue I had where I climbed off of something, and the guy kind of noticed it, and I noticed it too. It looked like a bug where it grappled onto something wrong, put me up in a space that wasn't on a rock, but it was like on a green plant or something like that that was below me, and then I fell back down, and then we both kind of looked at each other. He was like, "That was weird." And yeah, it was. So other than that, I mean, it was cool. You do have to evolve in a like a hidden spot because you're vulnerable as you're evolving because it kind of sits still and then like things grow out of them. Is it easy to distinguish the classes as the monster? Coast. So they actually have the name of the person you're attacking, the hunters that you're attacking, so you could target someone specifically. I don't know if that's the best way they could have done it, but it is the easiest way for people to say, okay, I want to target the medic right now, and they just have medic sitting above them.
Okay, so it wasn't like the player name; it was the character name.
It was the character name was actually medic in white text. So it was like medic support. And if they don't do that, then yeah, it would be very, very difficult to tell who is who.
How would a monster know that stuff? Just saying. It's not a good simulation. There are competitive aspects to Evolve. It's 1v4. Like, it's multiplayer only.
Can the monster wall bounce?
But no MLG.
How easy is it to climb up hills? Climbing seemed pretty intuitive. If I can remember the controls just off the top of my head. Leaping was A. X, Y, and B were B was sneak. X and Y were abilities. Left bumper, right bumper were abilities. Left trigger was climb. Right trigger was melee. Smelling was hitting in your thumbstick. I don't remember which one, if it was right or left.
Does it actually label the button as smelling in the menus?
I think it does.
That's
Are
funny.
the humans fragile? How many hits do they take to kill? That fight, again, it ended in 7 minutes. The fight engagement probably occurred at about 5 minutes, maybe 4:30ish. By the time I hit level 3, I was trying to speed through as quickly as I could to level up and get to level 3, and then I took the fight to them. I mean, they seem pretty squishy. Obviously, the medic can heal, so obviously taking them out didn't extend the fight that long, and I imagine they were bumbling over there with controls and communication. So I think the fights could probably last a lot longer if you play a competent group. But if you play an unorganized group and you're a good player, that's going to be a matchmaking nightmare. Either way, like if you have an incompetent medic, awful. Incompetent support, awful.
Right.
Incompetent trapper, awful. Like any set, I think, other than maybe the assault, maybe, I don't know. It seems like for the hunters, like if you get anyone that doesn't know what the hell they're doing, they're gonna get run the fuck over.
I think it's got to be probably both ways. That if you have the
And if you have a terrible monster guy, yeah,
it's
I think
boring as hell.
it's boring. Like you might as well
Yeah.
not even, just get 5 groups of your buddies and just play against each other. You see anything OP like weapons? The group I played was too bad. Sorry, Mark, Nate, and Greg. And random guy, like they were just too bad for me to say that something felt OP. I am kind of concerned about that mobile arena. Just it seems like it lasts a very, very long time. I don't know. It might be infinite, but it seems like it lasts a long time. Does the monster have any kind of finishing moves? Tubok, no, not really. It's just those abilities that they have, and if you max them out, then they do a hell of a lot of damage. Nothing felt overly strong. Then again, I didn't use that rock smash or whatever, rock throw. That seems like, from what I saw from Cliff's gameplay, that seemed like the one that did the most damage. Like he hit him, and it took like more than half of his health on the big screen when I was watching. Did it feel like a game you would play longer than a couple months?
That's a good question.
So, I actually had that. I asked that question to our marketing director, or not director, marketing director, our creative director, and he said something similar. He's like, "Yeah, it seems like a game you might play for a few weeks and then it might get old." I'm not sure. Here's my thought process with it. There's supposed to be a couple different monsters, and the classes aren't going to stay the same. But if they keep adding monsters, I think there's a lot of different ways you could play. If they add the ability to play underwater, for example, and you have a sea monster, I think that completely changes the dynamic of the game. If they have something that you can fly around and use, that completely changes the dynamic of the game. If everything is land based and you're just hopping from tree to tree or stone to stone, I think that might get lame. But if the monsters are really diverse, I think it could add some replay value. Here's the thing: Left 4 Dead 2 still being played.
Right. But you
It's
didn't
still
play it
being
for more than a
played.
couple months.
I didn't play it though for more than a couple months, but
couple
Left 4
weeks,
Dead 2 is still being played. So I really think it's something that will be for a specific audience that likes that type of co-op experience. Sit down with your buddies, and they could play that for very, very long amounts of time. Does a time to feed differ based on the wildlife? Meaning, does it take longer to eat certain wildlife? I don't remember. I only fought one big monster, and I didn't pay attention to if it was a longer time to digest. It was definitely a longer time to fight. So I think that in nature makes it probably the same. They probably said, okay, they're gonna have the same amount of time to digest, but the fights are gonna be longer. So I don't think we should change the digestion time.
If they add robots and let me fight monsters, I'll buy it.
The new Gears is good, but Titan makes competitive. Which one? That's not even a question related to what we're talking about right now. Let me look on YouTube really quick to see if there's anything there. How hard is it to kill a level 3 beast? I only played as the
beastie.
as the beast, as the monster. So I don't know. But Lethal, to answer your question, the bad thing for Evolve is that Destiny is coming out right around the same time. So it is a game that I would definitely want to play it. Like, I want to play Evolve a lot. There's just too many good games, dude. Like,
there's been a lot of good games that have been kind of being added to that back half of the year.
It's like, I don't know what my list is gonna look like.
Lots of Destiny though.
How useful will hit and run tactics be? Can I get in and do enough damage with the monster and then get out easily? The bad thing about thinking like that, RPG freak, is that unless you take out the medic, you probably want to hold in a specific spot and just fight it out. And then if you get 2 damage, run away. Like, you're going to be running away. They don't have to run away because they're going to respawn. So even if you kill them, it's like you have to kill, run, and then like, okay, I have 30 seconds before I have to come in and kill again, or they're going to just respawn anyway. So it's like...
Does the monster regen health though?
I think it does. I know there's at least like the shield meter that I saw, which was odd. What are your thoughts on the HUD? Does it need improvement? Pretty clean. HUD was pretty clean. There's a couple icons that are small, like the stamina in the middle. I had to ask about it. I mean, I picked it up pretty quickly once I saw what was moving on the screen because I was specifically looking for a stamina meter. Being that it was incorporated into the aiming reticle was a little weird, and like I said, it's really small. So that was probably the only thing I thought could have looked a little bit better from the monsters end. I don't even know what the player end looks like, so that was probably the one that's going to be HUD intensive because I imagine they need to show the health of all the players there on screen. Obviously, your weapon and abilities need to be something, so that's probably the one where it's probably HUD intensive.
Right.
And I'm going to time it. I'm going to I'm going to end that gameplay breakdown. Go to the next topic. We'll get some more questions in here at Q&A. I know it's probably going to be a longer episode because it's PAX recap. Star Citizen Dogfighting.
I can't talk about Star Citizen anymore. Been banned.
You haven't been banned.
YouTube comments ban me. Here's the thing. So they had their big panel. It was the big reveal of the dogfighting module that was supposed to be released in December, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it got delayed. So they finally had something to show at PAX. And when they went to go show it, the frame rate was horrendous, and the game crashed several times during the demo.
One time.
I believe it was two or three times.
Well, no, look. Here's exactly what Colin. That he crashed the first time. Like,
Yeah, he
literally
physically
flew
crashed,
into something. Then the second time it crashed, and the third time it played, did no crashes, but there was a couple, obviously, bugs that occurred that were pretty glaring.
Okay.
You can continue.
No, that's all I have to say. Just. I mean, it's like, and everyone's still just like so. I hate hearing the it's alpha, it's beta, yada 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 excuses for a game. I just hate hearing that. And they didn't even do multiplayer. He did it as a single player thing, right, for the demo. Like,
he did. They did
multiplayer,
dogfighting, but it was
they
later.
couldn't get it to work, so then he dogfought like AI.
I'm not sure. I stopped tuning in on the multiplayer portion of it, all of it.
Yeah.
I watched the entire demo of the dogfighting itself. And from what I saw on YouTube, that's all that they showed. So I'm imagining that the multiplayer portion either didn't work or was behind closed doors. I actually heard and read that they had it playing and working on another station at the show, and I didn't find
Couldn't
it.
get
So
working on stage.
yeah, so that's all I've heard.
It was a really weak showing, is what I'm trying to say, and the fans are just defending the shit out of it. But
No,
it was
that
like it was probably, if, for example, if they went on stage at E3 and did that kind of presentation, it would be the laughing stock of everything. It'd be like the Assassin's Creed demo when they did the walkthrough and it froze.
Well, here's
worse. And of course, it's a game in development, like it's to be expected. But it's also something they delayed already and should have been out a while ago. And they're releasing it in parts, so like this is going to be playable in 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
right. So you want to hear what I think should have happened? And then we talked about this before. We talked about this all last year, and it's gonna, guys, it's gonna happen again this year because we're gonna be talking about demonstrations and all the presentations coming up for the next gaming cycle. He was not very good on the sticks.
He was really bad. How do you crash in your own game for the demo? How do you crash?
Listen, guys, I thought the demo was all right. I'm not going to naysay it. I thought it was all right. They showed a video beforehand that showed all the work. Like, they said 2 days beforehand or even a day before it started, like, stuff wasn't working right. They were still trying to fix stuff, and they still came out and showed. So I'm not going to knock them. They showed what it was like. They talked about the issues that they were having prior to the show coming. So I'm not going to say that they completely bombed, because they did get it working on try number 3, lucky number 3. And it was good. Now
because they got it working on the third try.
My problem with it was
you've only been in pre-order for like 2 weeks. You're already making excuses for him.
I'm not making excuses. My issue was, like, he was bad. He was legitimately bad. On top of that, you have people screaming in the crowd, "Play mouse and keyboard! Play mouse and keyboard!" This dude is up with the controller, and you can tell it's, like, so clunky right now with the controller sticks. Like, he's flying around, he's not able to target stuff. Target acquisition was bad. Like, and then at the beginning, you get the crowd all pumped up. They had to get pumped up 3 times, so credit to that crowd, right? Credit to the crowd. First time, comes up, like, the hangar module looks sick. You're like, oh shit, it's about to go. I was watching the chat, because I was in my room at the time. This is Thursday night that they showed. I was dead dog tired, but oh shit, it's about to go down. Oh, people in the chat going nuts. Oh shit, oh. Pops that helmet on, does the helmet flip. The crowd goes, oh shit. CryEngine 3 looking crispy.
Yeah.
He pops out, swings around the camera in third person. People like, oh my god, it looks crazy. Oh yeah, he's talking about it. Yeah, talking about the G-forces. Look at that. That's real render time. Oh, crash. Everyone starts laughing. He starts laughing. He pops it back. You know, people are getting hype again. He pops, you know, he puts on his gloves, walks on out. And then they get to the helmet flip. Everyone goes nuts on the helmet flip again because it's like the new coast. That's exactly what the chat was like, the helmet. The chat was just chanting the helmet. So obviously Twitch is starting to hate on it a little bit. Fuck this game. This is just a helmet simulator. Fuck this game. This is what's going on in the helmet flip again. Crowd goes wild. Whoa! Oh yeah! Whoa! He starts flying around. He's like, okay, I'm not going to fly around in third person. Let's just get this started. He's flying around talking about the G-forces. We're going to talk about the G-forces on your character. Let's talk about the G-forces. These G-forces on your character. Oh, he starts to black out, shoots at some enemies. The game crashes. And then the hype started to die down. Well, people are like, okay. All right. And he's like, oh, well, I got it working just a second ago. It was working just a second ago, guys. It's working. So he starts it back up, puts on the gloves. People are, at this point, they're chanting, helmet, 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 helmet. Starts walking on, they do the helmet flip. They're like, oh, yeah. And then it works smooth, but there's a couple things that people weren't happy about. I wasn't happy about not all the asteroids being destroyed. It looked like the damage decals for when you got a notification for when missiles were being hit wasn't working properly.
The helmet flip was like 10 frames per second on the
He
left.
said he was in God mode, right? He said he enabled God mode at one point because he tried to take off a wing when he was hitting the asteroids, like skidding against them, and it wasn't working. But then when he crashed into the metal, it blew up the ship. So I was like,
God mode on?
I was like, if you had God mode on, why'd you blow up in the beginning and end it for us that first run through? So it was an interesting, like I said, there were some problems, but overall, I mean, this is coming along. Like, you can't say it's not coming along. It's moving. I just don't know the pace that it's going to move at. It's going to be quick enough to satiate everyone's thirst for wanting to play.
Graphically, it looks amazing.
It looks
like it didn't look like a game that's 1 year away from releasing when it's just one module. You know what I mean? Like, that's just part of the game. That's a very small part of the game too. Like, it's not any of the big meta stuff which they have going.
Exactly.
Like, that was just a chunk, and they couldn't get that chunk polished for the big reveal that they delayed 5 months.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's all I'm saying. But it looked great, and the helmet flip was cool.
A little snide remark. I
genuinely will say the helmet flip was cool.
The helmet flip was cool. I wish he would have had like some different helmet flips, like, you know, flipped it up once like that, then like spun it and then flipped it on his head.
He had to do the same one 3 times in a row. It's kind of like, oh, okay, this is pre-scripted. Like, this is how it's set up.
So yeah, I mean, listen, I'm impressed by how it looks visually. I was impressed that they actually got it working. I was impressed that they got it working. Basically showing that it wasn't working a day prior. I'm not impressed with some of the things that I saw with like destructible environment stuff. I wanted to see the big ass asteroids get blown to pieces and then be smaller asteroids in there. He just showed it with one, but then he said not all the asteroids are like that, and I was like, why not? So that was my thinking.
They had that technology 25 years ago. Asteroids.
This guy.
Saying, it's been around.
Listen, YouTube, feel free to hate on Colin. On
rear thrusters and G-forces too.
Feel free to hate. Listen, for you guys that don't get to see the YouTube comments, like, Colin is now, they think that we're actually doing this good cop, bad cop thing, and I'm genuinely interested in it. Colin is genuinely interested in it, but he's just going to call you out on bullshit. So I sometimes do that, but Star Citizen is my darling right now. I will tell you the things I don't like, but I'm not going to be like, no, fuck this, no. And the people in the chat were like hating on it hard. They were trolling majorly. And if you go on YouTube comments on the video that I saw for it now that has the most views for the dogfighting module, someone took each of the runs, cut out all the bullshit, put them together so it shows the first one where he flies into the building, the second one where it crashes, and then the third one where it's complete. And the comments on it are just like out of this world right now, guys. It's like crazy. So overall, listen, I'm moderately impressed. I'm just like at the okay standpoint right now. Show me something more. Wait till it's finished. I think, Colin, did you mention that it actually got delayed?
Well, I actually looked it up after. It was supposed to be released after PAX, is what they said.
Oh, after PAX. I thought it was.
And
yeah,
they said end of April or early mid-May is what they said.
I wouldn't be surprised if they try to fix a couple things and it gets pushed back to like May.
Didn't look ready.
Yeah,
If they
so
couldn't get multiplayer working locally, getting it to work over network.
I don't know. I'm a little nervous for it myself. You know, in terms of if they're gonna get it out in time, but that's not gonna.
It's already not out in time because they said it would be December.
I'm sorry, their rescheduled time frame.
Just saying. Just saying.
All right, moving on for this guy. So before we get 50 dislikes on the video, just because Colin's shitting on Star Citizen.
Man, the Defense Force in full effect.
Oh, so this is all you, Colin. Well, I guess it's a little bit of me. Actually, this is fucking mostly me.
You were there.
I was there.
But I did watch the panel live.
Okay.
They had the Titanfall PAX panel with Respawn kind of chit-chatting about what they are planning for Titanfall going forward.
Yeah.
I missed the first half where they were talking about the release. I caught it like right around when they announced the DLC.
Oh, there's nothing there that I think, I think,
Interesting.
yeah, there's one thing that maybe I thought was particularly interesting is like they basically had four prototypes or 4 games before they settled on the game that we see. And I think them just saying that kind of puts light on what it's like developing games a little bit. And if you go to any of these panels, if you get the opportunity to go to PAX or anywhere where you get to listen to developers talk about game development, you'll see that it's like it ping pongs all over the place before you get to something that is your final product. Like there's so many meetings and iterations, and you could go one route and it be a completely different game just by tweaking a couple things. But it sounded like the process. They showed a couple pictures which I thought were pretty cool. One was when Respawn was first formed, and this is something they talked about at the beginning of it, was that when they first spawned, they didn't have anything. And they showed a room of them, their first like meeting. It was nothing but chairs, them in a big circle, probably brainstorming ideas for games. And it showed Drew McCoy, who's one of their producers, like literally hooking up his phone on his laptop so he can get internet and order parts and stuff for the whole studio, like equipment, servers, all that stuff. So I thought that was interesting. Just seeing a studio, I think, start to finish on their product. And what's crazy, they have released a lot of Call of Duty stuff, but that hearing them say, listen, we don't know what we want to do, like we just worked on Call of Duty, what would be make a big idea, like just brainstorming from scratch. We're gonna make another shooter. It's gonna have giant mechs in it, and that's all you have at first, or it's just gonna have Titans. It's like, well, can we sell that? And then seeing that they've been moderately successful, or maybe they I mean, we don't really know how successful they've been, but it seems like they have enough buzz right now to say, yeah, this was a pretty successful launch. And it seems like, they're pretty happy with the franchise and the IP starting from nothing and then making it into something. And that has a lot to do with media, marketing, buzz, and all that stuff. But when you play it, it's genuinely fun.
Right. So going into like what they talked about is coming down the pipe. There's actually a really good summary over on Reddit, which I'll link in the comments or on Twitch. So first off, there's DLC coming, $10, 3 maps. That'll be coming out in May, and there's a map with water, a map with trees, and a map inside the training simulator from the tutorial. Of those, it sounds pretty cool because the tree map will have large, thick trees that you can run on as cylinders, and then there's also the vines or zip lines. I think War Games is probably cool too because it could potentially be one of those maps where it's really clear and easy to see people. You don't have to be picking people out of the crowd if they do it in the real textureless environment from the tutorial, which I assume is what they're going to do. They said it was really Tron-like with the description. Besides that, new mode, 2v2 Last Titan Standing, they're calling Wingman. That's the biggest rebranding effort ever.
No, it's not.
You can literally play the new mode right now in private matches. Literally.
Was it?
Not like they're doing anything special with it. They just said it's 2v2.
On top of that, 2v2 is Gears of War. The fact that it's Last Titan Standing is Gears of War. I feel like Last Titan Standing is Gears of War. Like, Respawn was like, what other shooter has... Oh, Gears of War was pretty popular. How can we... Last Titan Standing seems like that would be... Yeah, let's just make that one life. Yeah, that works. We're just gonna... that's it. That's our Gears right there. Titans.
One dude over there who's a huge Gears fan. That was the mode he proposed.
I'm telling you.
So that's kind of a cop-out for as far as new modes go, in my opinion. But it'll be free, so whatever. That's kind of thing that would be like a weekend variant playlist on Halo or Gears, you know,
Right.
like doing 2v2s for a weekend.
Yep.
Titan burn cards are coming, so stuff for all the Titan weapons. Most interesting thing that they had on there was this hashtag system. So you'll be able to enter a hashtag when you like do matchmaking. So for example, you could put Frag Logic as your hashtag, and then you'd be matched with other people that are putting that same tag on. So essentially we could get matchmaking groups, pub stomping groups, with just our fan base or our fans or people that watch. Like if you're a Dolphins fan, you put Miami Dolphins. If you were a big Kotaku fan, you put Kotaku, and then you'd be playing with people that are like-minded, more likely to put your mic in and talk to people if you have similar interests, and then
Right.
you'll have a better time playing. Is what they're kind of betting on.
Yep. And I want to add to that exactly what you said. You know, I kind of tweeted about it as a competitive standpoint, but this is going to be great. Listen, fans, supporters of my channel, of Colin's stuff, of our team in general. Like, if we're in a game, I'm going to just be honest with you guys. The Xbox interface is so awful at updating me on if you've sent me a message, if you followed me, if you've done anything. It is so bad. If I hop into a game and I'm not visibly looking at it and you're using hashtag amazing, hashtag Arctic VBI, whatever, YouTube, hashtag Frag Logic, and you're searching, like, how awesome would it be to just be put into a match so we can start playing? That sounds phenomenal. Like, that's awesome.
If they're gonna fill my game with 4 random people, anyways, I'd rather that it's people that know us,
Know
and
us.
will interact.
Yeah, talk to us. I mean, that would be awesome.
So
When I'm playing by myself, no one's chatting.
the only thing that sucks is it sounded like they're only doing it for your party and not for like a private match, for example. Otherwise, we'd be able to throw up like scrims and then fill a room with scrim people, which would be the most cool shit ever if they make that happen. So really hoping they eventually see that and like, okay, private matches might be a nice way to integrate this as well. They also said there'd be a HUDless / free cam spectator. They used the word spectator mode, but I don't think they meant it. They were really talking about machinima and being able to record video without the HUD was the actual takeaway there. But they said spectator mode.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, like got everyone on Twitter all, ooh, they're doing spectator mode. They really love competitive gaming. And it's like, yeah, you didn't really listen to what they said, did you? So this sounds like they'll probably just be like a fly cam type thing in multiplayer, or just removing your HUD as a start menu option. On the same note, they said there'd be rankings, but then they kind of muttered and said against your friends. So it'd be like it's basically stats that you can compare against your friends. It sounds like it's actually what they're going for with it, but instead everyone's interpreted it as like 1 to 50 Halo rankings, for example. Right. Again, like this was all like them kind of spitballing stuff that they had planned in the pipeline, but not giving details. So it sounded like that was probably more for a friends to friend basis and not like huge direction change in how they're doing their multiplayer. Also, daily challenges, more stat stuff, more challenge stuff in general. You'll be able to rename loadouts soon, and you'll be able to sort your challenges completed by like which ones are coming soon.
And they did say a lot of this stuff is just going to be updated for free. You should also
all of it's free except for map packs, they said.
Yeah. So that sounds really awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like they've like with all these features, they pretty much committed to the next year, right?
Easily. I mean, they said I want to say is their lead programmer called is his name Jake with the spiked hair? I think his name is Jake, but he said something like, "We have so much stuff planned in the next year." He literally said that the whole team is very excited to get it in.
Yeah. And Vince said no one's working on a new game over there. Like no one's like that's not what they're doing right now. They're working on supporting this.
Yep. So
big words, because usually a studio, like as soon as it's done, they start kind of planning for the future.
I I'm trying to think if there's anything I really took away that you didn't cover there. You know, I kind of tweeted some stuff that I thought was all solid, like saying that the private match stuff was going to get iterated on, saying that they were going to have spectator mode, saying that they were going to work on rankings. Mentioning all that stuff first kind of made me feel like they're really paying attention to the hardcore / competitive crowd. I also think, kind of thinking about that, if you make a multiplayer only game, like you're going to end up with a very, I'm going to call it hardcore because I'm going to say competitive, but you're going to end up with a lot of people that are going to be playing your game for a long time that enjoy that setting. If you pit me against you all the time, that's all you ever do, then it's going to be pretty rough. Otherwise, you know, if you don't like that, to otherwise sit there and enjoy it and want to be a part of that community. So I feel like by
competitive spirit type features is what
Yeah.
they used in the blog post today. Like they
Yeah.
didn't want to use. They were trying to lean away from the use of the word competitive because it's usually misconstrued.
Yeah.
Where competitive spirit, I think, is more along what you're trying to say.
yeah.
And that it's people that aren't necessarily like trying to be the best or want to be the best, but they want to. In general, they'll be more prone to like being hardcore gamers that play tons of time.
Right, and their goal is usually I play to improve my score. I play to
Right.
improve as a player rather than I play to complete this game, or I play to have fun with my friends. Which, you know, that could be synonymous with also competing and trying to get better. But it's definitely more leaning towards I play to get better rather than I play just to have fun. Like their fun is getting better and continuing to play, having that number for rank.
Overall, it sounds good though. Sounds like they're doing a lot of stuff that needs to be done.
Yeah.
I really wish they quit labeling all their features as beta when they add them in patches, though. we
Well,
have matchmaking beta. Now we have a private match beta for something
Yeah.
that's been in every game ever for the past like 10 years.
I think that they've added beta because they just want to add more features to it. So this is not the final product. We will
Right.
continue to iterate on it. That's just how I
It's a
interpret it.
living service, so like,
Right.
it should be expected.
Does Titanfall not get monotonous? I'm going to answer a lot of these questions, Apex, towards the end. I got one of yours saved. But yeah, we do Q&A right at the end. I'm kind of running through these, but we gotta get through the rest of the show. I did get a little patch, Colin. I grabbed 2 of them. They were in my pocket, so I got to make sure they didn't fall out. But I got 2 IMC patches that they sat down on every single chair in the main theater so that you could grab it and have it. But I got you one, so
I'm a militia guy, though.
IMC.
I still had Star Citizen Dogfighting. Here, we'll do this. Titanfall PAX. And then we'll do this.
You're awful. This is Plants vs. Zombies. PvZ.
Zomboss Down.
What is it called?
Zomboss Down expansion.
PvZ. Zomboss Down.
Yeah. So I mean, we talk a lot about like developers doing shit wrong and publishers doing shit wrong.
We do.
People being greedy with updates. So
We do.
I really wanted to take a second and just call attention to the game that we hyped up a lot before release. We played up until the time Titanfall came out.
3 weeks.
Which is what we anticipated going into as we played during that time and then stopped. They've released a free update like 2 or 3 weeks after the game came out with a new mode, new abilities for all the characters, new map. And now they just released another update today, which has more free stuff. So for free, you get 8 new characters, a new map, 200 plus cosmetic items, which you have to unlock, I assume, through like the coin system if you buy the packs and stuff. They increase the level cap, and there's like 5 pages of bug fixes and balance changes and tuning, and even map adjustments. They added flanking routes in some maps that were difficult to complete, like in gardens and graveyards, the mode.
Mm-hmm.
So they had some flanking routes where it was too much of a bottleneck. So all this stuff for free, released like a month and a half after the game came out,
Yeah, that's not bad.
almost 2 months. And to date, I think they've released like 400 cosmetic items for free back into their pool.
Wow.
So pretty insane.
I'm still interested to know what their population is sitting at right now.
I don't know.
Like if I searched the matchmaking at 3 o'clock in the morning, would I find a match? Would it take a long
I assume
time?
you would. I don't know though.
You know, that was our big question about the game was what type of audience does it have? Who is it catering to? Is it grandmas? We don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Free stuff's awesome though.
Let's see here. The last thing I was going to talk about was just PAX, and it wasn't really specific. So I'm just going to do a quick PAX recap, and I do have some pictures that are going to be going. PAX. I should probably word that the other way. PAX 2014. PAX East 2014 recap. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right. So make sure these pictures are correct.
I'll see if I can pull them up. It might get eaten up by the YouTube delay.
Position. Edit this.
Oops, sorry.
Whoa, these pictures are huge.
See how long the delay is.
All right, so there we go. I got the PAX pictures going up. That's EC Warrior 2 there, but I met a lot of fans of the channel. Met a lot of fans of Loadout. Met a lot of old re-saw and a lot of old friends and you know, got to meet up and talk with them quite a bit. But it's been, that one needs to get turned. That's my I don't know what that's from. I want to say it's like this wizard game where we got a hood. The fam is home knocking stuff around. There's Kylan. But yeah, it was a very fun event. You know, the biggest thing that was different than what I can recall from previous PAX shows is you know, there wasn't really an opportunity to do anything, right? Like I mean, we got there an hour early, and we couldn't boosts weren't set up, but people weren't at them. I had a couple times where, you know, I had to go over and ask the Evolve guys, hey, if we show up, you know, like 30 minutes early, can you guys have this set up? And day 3 they did, but you know, it wasn't something that was like previous shows. Like at PAX Prime last year for Titanfall, they had that open an hour before the show, an hour after the show, to make sure that people that were showing could actually play. Now, obviously, everyone wants to go home,
Right.
Or be done, get to their hotel and be done. But for other people, it was like, hey, this is my first time at PAX. Like, if you're an indie dev, it's your first time at PAX. Like, what is it like? What are the games like? You don't really get to do anything. So I think that that's something that maybe needs to be worked on for future shows. It's like, hey, you know, this night can a couple different places have some things open to do, and then the next night these places have some things open to do, or can you come in this day a little bit early, we'll set up a little bit early and we can play. Like, people were kind of coordinating that, but I feel like that needs to be like an official thing. And this goes hand in hand with my next point. It's like, when the show starts, even if you get a break, the lines are so long that you might as well just waste your day or go do something else if you want to see games. Like, hit all the small games, you will play more and get to experience more PAX than if you sit in a 4-hour line on an 8-hour show, 6-hour show during the day. I think it's 8 hours. 10? Yeah, it's 8-hour show. So you figure half your day is wasted sitting in a Evolve line, or if you went Evolve and new the New Order, Wolfenstein, then you're basically, you have nothing.
Whole day,
That's an entire day. So imagine if you got a 1-day pass and you're like, I'm gonna play Evolve. There are people sprinting to that. Like, you literally could trip over someone and fall and get just trampled on, just complete stampede. Herd of people running towards Evolve or whatever is the most popular, hottest thing at the show, because you just won't get to see anything. Even the indie stuff at this point in time is starting to get massive lines And if you talk to people there, like the people that are showing at the show, it's like they're thinking it's awesome. But if you talk to people, like the actual people that are showing up, they're like, man, this kind of sucks, man. And I spent a couple days myself kind of going out with some people kind of drinking. We had our buddy Nate and his friends. What happened? Oh, did she grab my phone? You guys probably hear some Windows stuff on YouTube, but anyway, the group of, it was like 5 of them, and they were all attendees. And one of them was actually, 2 of them are actually working on the game themselves, but they weren't showing at the show, and they're like, this is not the PAX I remember. Like, I can't actually play anything. I can't interact and ask questions with anyone at the show. If it was a bigger game, and I feel like that's what they kind of want it to do, and you can still do that at any the indie section, like indie mega booth. But I'm telling you guys, like Transistor, I talked about that game a couple times on the show. That's by Super Giant Bomb. Is that the name of that studio? The one that made Bastion.
You added a bomb that wasn't in there.
Super Giant Games.
Yeah,
Super Giant Games. Super Giant Games. I said Giant Bomb because of
Giant Bomb.
But Super Giant Games made Bastion, and their new game Transistor is like this hot new title coming out for PlayStation and I think PC. They had massive lines, and they're in the indie section. Like you had to waste 2 hours to try to play this game, and so I think that the interaction is kind of lost there with fans or people that are interested in your product asking you, hey, how did you make this game? What is your engine like? And it's more of a herd the sheep, herd the cattle through this long, massive line so we can get as many people in the door and out and the next set in as possible. And I think that's kind of the commercial stuff that PAX has wanted to try to not have, but they're ending up having anyway. So, we talk about these new show announcements. Maybe that'll spread it out a bit, but ultimately I think that people just, if you go to PAX, like if you're a person that likes cons, you're just going to wrap your whole year around going to the same stuff, and then everything becomes packed. Like you can, obviously it deters some people from coming. There's definitely a lot of locals that show up to shows, but PAX East, hundreds of thousands of people show up for this show.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is another side effect, just developers not wanting to go to all of them, or they'll send their bare bones crew with their build from 9 months ago from the last PAX to the events.
Yep.
I think that's what's likely going to happen, which is why I'll probably go to the San Antonio one just because it's so close. But I'm not expecting to see anything latest and greatest.
Right. So, for me, the show is always awesome. I can't say that it's a bad show or that you shouldn't go to PAX or anything like that. It's an awesome show. It's just starting to get really packed, and that's the downside of being popular and being around all these people that enjoy games. Like you can't actually play the games that you enjoy playing, so that becomes a little frustrating. And obviously, you have things like Prime, for example, extended it to 4 days as of last year, just so they can get that extra day, so people could play games because it's so busy. So outside of that, it's phenomenal. Meeting you guys, talking to people about games and answering questions. I think all of that is great. And, I had a hell of a time. Now, going over some of these pictures, if you guys are looking on YouTube, this is at the Titanfall panel. This is just a group. I took this picture because of the person in that green shirt with whatever that is on their head. A couple of these I just took on my phone, and there's more pictures on our camera. For the studio, but like I said, it's an awesome show, lots and lots of people. This is another picture of the booth. This is from the opposite side, some people playing. I'm trying to get like gamer faces, like the look of concentration, like people like, or you see the lips twitching. My lips twitch when I play. If you guys watch.
What's got the big agape mouth?
Yeah. I think I have a 15-second rotation. Another close-up. This guy has gamer face. Look at concentration. I'm gonna look at these questions. We can start Q&A right now.
All right.
By the way, as well. So, while I talk about some of these pictures.
questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat.
Kylan's not getting her way right now. There's our booth again. This is loadout shirts we gave away. See the two red at the back of them. That's EC Warrior 2, 22.
Pop that mute button. So we keep an eye on the chat. Let me see if there's anything earlier that we didn't pull down. There's a question earlier from Apex about Titanfall getting monotonous at times. For me, it's like matchmaking is. I'm still learning things in matchmaking, still learning routes and that kind of thing. But the addition of private matches is kind of brings everything into a new light for me personally, since I've always had a competitive background. So that's been what's really kind of reinvigorated things for me on Titanfall. I don't know. It might get monotonous after a while. It's multiplayer, so like if you don't have your own like things you can focus on, then you're gonna have a rough time.
Did I get Cliffy B's autograph? No. I met Cliffy a couple times. This is Able Gamers charity. That's run by Craigums. Run by, I believe the president's name is Mark, and Craigums is a part of it. But I met them and talked to them, gave them some loadout stuff. Really cool dudes. You guys gonna do another show about Smite? Considering the game is actually released? Probably not. Alright, like we're so many things that we're trying to do. Like I might play it, but in terms of us playing it as a group, like that'd be time wasted for us practicing for Titanfall.
Right.
Like you know the grind, Array. In the long run, to compare gears playing side wide.
It's talking about monotony.
Oh. I mean,
You know, like, I played Gears thousands of hours, and it was monotonous for a lot of those.
I never really
It's just
understand
like, in
that
the end,
question.
Like, I always had something to work towards, so
I just never really understand that. Like they said that they're committed to adding new content, new maps, whatever. Like people play multiplayer games for hundreds of hours, sometimes thousands of hours. So I never understand the question of, will it get monotonous? Do you feel like it'll get monotonous? Because it's more like, if you enjoy that style of game, regardless, like it shouldn't matter to you whether or not you feel like it should be monotonous, because you as a gamer or you as a person, you're gonna like whatever you like, right? So like there's people that are gonna play thousands more hours of Titanfall than we may play, and there's people that are gonna play League of Legends thousands more hours than we're gonna play because we don't like League. Oh, I don't like League. There's people that are gonna play Dota 2 for thousands of hours than I'm ever gonna play because I don't like Dota. And Smite and the same thing. So I never really understand those questions of, why aren't you playing this, or why don't you like this? Is like, it's not my game. So, you know, for me, if it's like, if I'm gonna continue playing, I'm just gonna continue playing. And if it gets monotonous, maybe. But I can't really make that call. And when I stop playing, I'll have my reason for you. But it may be monotonous. It may be they didn't offer enough updates. It may be something was broken. It may be there's another new title that's more interesting to me. That's the thing with games, like, there's new ones coming out every day. So there's 1,000 different variables that could a person could attribute to why you're not playing that game. May or may not be monotonous. It may be 1,000 other things, but like, it's whatever. Like, it's your opinion on you and your style of games on it. So that question is like, eh. Doesn't that get boring? That's the other one. Doesn't it get boring to you? It's like, I don't. It may have gotten boring to you. No, I'm still playing it. Do you have any recommendations?
Yeah, I put a link in there for him.
Okay.
Reddit.com/rcompetitivetititanfall is like the Reddit hub for it, and Game Battles.
Game Battles.
Probably the two biggest ones. Neither of them is very big, so take that.
And let me say this too, Colin. With competitive Titanfall, or anything competitive, if you're expecting this to trump Call of Duty, or be the next Call of Duty, or be bigger than Gears of War, or be bigger than League of Legends, or be bigger than whatever, or if you're playing just for money, you are in it for the wrong fucking reasons.
And you're gonna be disappointed.
And you're going to be disappointed. You're in it for the wrong fucking reasons, and you're going to be disappointed. So please understand that. If any of those things that I just mentioned crossed your mind about Titanfall, or any other game, other than those Call of Duty, League of Legends, Dota, you're in it for the wrong reasons.
Bird cards are banned on GB, and they needed to be. It's the only thing which I would promote banning currently because it's inherently unfair.
Yeah, Apex, like, you know, it's completely fine. I understand your reasoning for it. I just think, like, most of the time, multiplayer only games have specific reasons why people play hundreds of hours in them. And you can look at any game and they will have the same thing in it. People like multiplayer environments. Some people like co-op versus bots. Some people like single player campaigns. Some people like the graphics. Some people like whatever. Your opinion on whatever reason is going to make Gears for you the staple of why you're playing it is fine. For other people, it's going to be completely different, and their reasons are just huge and wide, and I can't even just describe them all. Do you think it would be cool to have Titan skins? They actually mentioned that
They're
there.
adding decals, yeah, on the front of
Decals.
Titans.
Yeah, I think it would be cool, Ghost.
Thoughts on GameSpy multiplayer right now? You know, like one of the first games that I played a multiplayer on actually was Praetorians, and it used GameSpy. It was like the old standalone GameSpy client back in the day, and they ran tournaments and stuff regularly. And they had basically like an admin group that was just there to run events and kind of build a community. So I was pretty big on the GameSpy stuff, and then like slowly they just kind of fell apart over the years. It was kind of sad. I was actually a GameSpy wizard for a while, which was part of the like event group for them running tournaments. So it sucks. A lot of games are going to be non-functioning for multiplayer, which is the same thing we had with Games for Windows Live, which sucks.
Pay-to swag, there's no pay-to swag. There's no in-game PAX shirt for this year, 2014. The item this year is a physical PAX shirt. Zap. Pub matches get old, I think, in general, but here's the thing about online multiplayer games. I can't really name one where people talk anyway. Like, people talked 10 years ago when it was new.
Not since
Then
Party Chat came out.
Then you got Party Chat. Yeah, Party Chat came out. You have people that are like racist pricks and derogatory people, sexist people. Like, people just stop talking because you deal with idiots and anonymity online. So it's like, there's so many reasons why people don't chat that much. I can't stand when people say, well, why don't you include voice chat in your game? There's 1,000 reasons why I wouldn't do that.
I think we're good to wrap up.
She's going nuts right now. She's going ham.
I think we're good to wrap up. I don't
Okay.
see much more.
All right, guys.
Be back again next week.
Next week.
I'll be home for Easter, so I'm not gonna get any gaming in this weekend.
I'll probably try to play some games. I want to get some more Nosgoth in. So
Probably gonna watch these GB tournaments though. There's a 4v4 LTS tournament for the first money prizes on GB for Titanfall, and then 5v5 domination, CTF, etc. for Sunday, which will be the first time that those modes have been played outside of like GB matches, obviously. So that'll be pretty cool to watch, and hopefully participate in soon.
Yep. Well,
So
thank you guys for stopping by, and till next week. See you guys later.
have a good night.